Hurry in to JCPenney for Black Friday prices in July. Plus, take an extra 20% off with card and coupon. And earn JCPenney bonus bucks. Spend $50, earn 10. Earn today, spend today. JCPenney, style and value for all.
Watching it end again.
What's up? What is going on here?
It's just switching and it should be live now.
Yeah, I hope so. Anyway,
We're doing a quick mic check. Are we live here? Seeing it?
yeah, no, we're good.
Let's test it out.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Okay, mics work? Good. Alright, sweet. Well, welcome back everyone for episode 3, Revenge of the Bulls. I'm here as always as Crypto Nikolai.
I was just saying, please differentiate because of what's going on with old Crypto Nick.
Yes, we will discuss the name update here in just a minute, but I'm joined here of course with Crypto J, who's not been caught up in any kind of issues on his end. So no name change needed there. But real talk, rip in reaching out to the Crypto Nick fanboy club because what happened was he got caught up in BitConnect and
he got bit wrecked.
He did get bit wrecked. He got really bit wrecked. So I just want to call your attention real quick to getting bit wrecked, and that's what that looks like. BitConnect, aka bit wrecked.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, and that's just how it was. But rip to them. Oh, thank you, Cog Whistle, for the follow. Hell yeah.
That's a giant star. Like, that was almost the size of my head.
Yeah, right?
That was awesome.
Yeah. So, anyway, as we were saying, BitConnect was a big popular scam service there, and now obviously they're dead, because they weren't legit. So,
it is what it is. I mean, I know we kind of touched on it a little bit last time. Don't get me wrong, it was super shady and everything, but the folks that got in like super early, they made a lot of money off of the multi-level marketing that they had in place. But I don't know, maybe we'll have a best of the scams episode at some point in the future, because I've got a couple of them.
Right.
Who we got here? Lego HQ.
Yeah, we got a little chat activity. Hey,
what's going
Lego?
on?
Welcome to the BlockTalk.
Yep, absolutely. Not sure if you caught us last time, but if you do have any questions or comments, concerns throughout the stream on anything that we cover, feel free to drop it in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer it.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely big props to you for tuning in live. If you haven't followed us already, you can always see kind of what we're thinking about, what we're talking about on our Twitter, at @real_BlockTalk. So getting back to it, today we wanted to talk about episode 3. We want to focus on two major things.
Mm-hmm.
One, it wouldn't be a crypto stream to not address the bull in the room.
Is it back? Are they back? That is a really, really good question, because we're kind of pushing towards a new high. Hopefully, anyway.
Absolutely, we are. So the big thing about the bull run is that we have sustained gains above 8K.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to be, really, we haven't seen that in months. We've been in such a bear market for so long that...
pretty much since January, for the most part.
Yeah, we had a small buyback in around May. Around March.
That was really nice.
And it lasted until about May, and then from May onward, we were in deep bear country.
Mm-hmm.
And
felt bad.
It was great for the options traders. So, for those people who were trading against Bitcoin, who were trying to,
short it.
Yeah, they were shorting on, let's say, BitMEX, the most popular futures exchange.
Yep.
Keep in mind that as one of those exchanges does have a limited, account interaction there, I do believe that you're, if you try to connect through the U.S., there's an issue with it?
Yes. According to BitMEX's terms of service, options and margin trading with leverage is not what's the word? Not eligible for U.S. investors to participate in.
Mm-hmm.
But there are ways around that.
Yeah, and certainly we want to definitely remind our viewers to consult any kind of legal rules of where they live before they try anything to circumvent those kind of restrictions. But there are definitely ways, if you were to use something like a Tor browser, you would be able to make it so that you really didn't have that IP showing up as you're being in the U.S., if I understand that correctly.
Yeah. By using a Tor router or Tor browser, you're actually you're spoofing your IP address to make it appear as though it's being routed through some other country, some other city. Not 100% sure on the legalities of that, as far as how it may or may not violate BitMEX's terms of service in case anything should happen.
Yeah.
Again, check your local laws and regulations and stuff before venturing out onto that sort of technical territory. So just be really careful with that.
Yeah, and also just a general word of wisdom. We are the kind of folks who, not to get overly political for a moment, but we do believe in quite a lot of freedoms out there. And so, in terms of freedom of information, that's one that's near and dear to my heart. I think that information should be out there and available. And anyway, if you do decide to pursue this sort of alternative browsing method, just remember that there are potentially dangerous parties out there involved, so you want to be very careful with any personal information out there. But you're really going to protect yourself in that kind of situation.
Yes.
Don't broadcast anything. Don't get caught in one of those Western Union style scams where the prince of
you're
Nigeria
cashing checks for some random guy somewhere.
Right.
But yeah, as always, do your homework, do your research, make sure you don't get, caught up in anything that could potentially, be detrimental to your freedom, since we're all about freedoms and stuff.
That's right.
Whether or not we agree with limiting or excluding countries from using BitMEX, that's a discussion all of its own.
It is, and it's a value discussion that we won't really get into here, but suffice to say, there are other countries out there, and we do want to remind our viewers that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency trading in general are done so on an international level. So we have, this is not just a Western thing, it's not just a U.S. thing.
It's
massive
European,
investment in
Asian, both Western and Eastern Asia.
Exactly.
Australia, Oceania.
Yep, South America. Even you talk about Venezuelan crypto interests.
The Petro,
So anyway, I think that what will really kind of bring us back to the main issue here when we talk about international trade is that, wow, there is some trading that comes in from overseas, and between the good news that we've seen this week and the out-of-seas investment just continuing to grow, I can safely say that we have landed ourselves in a bull market.
Yep, absolutely. We are definitely in a period of sustained growth, and that is absolutely what we needed right now because everything was just pushing sideways for so long. Everything was just so volatile, and now Bitcoin, Ethereum seem to be doing pretty good. Well, Ethereum not so much. A lot of consolidation into Bitcoin driving the price of Ether down, but that's what happens when you're on the top.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And so we'll talk more about consolidation in terms of trading. I think it's very important to remember that buying and selling of these currencies happens in kind of waves of volume, right? You can use some of our trading techniques of checking the MACD, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit today. But really, the waves of volume are up and down. But when you have gains that are realized and are solidified to where you reach a critical point, you see that sell wall, and then you break through. Then they talk about going on a run at that point, where the coin really increases in price. So, looking at this, we have a 7-day chart here pulled up, and this is
look at that.
As we have a weekly stream here, we want to give you updates up to the most latest information that's available to us.
Absolutely.
And Bitcoin over the past week. Started off, we were looking at it down here at around 7,300. It was on the low 700s. It had, really kind of realized those gains. Really wasn't going anywhere. Had been pushing almost sideways for the previous week. But that just was meant investors were biding their time and waiting.
Yeah, and they were very patient, and patience paid off.
Yeah, as the week went on, we saw some big jumps in price.
Now, as a whole, it's quite up.
Yeah.
There's nice big jumps.
Yeah, we crossed a critical. There was a critical resistance line.
8,000.
At 8,000, it's a real psychological barrier, and there's often major walls that are around that point. And there was also some resistance there at closer to 79, and again at 77. So once it broke through, we saw this run. And we had a couple runs, even over 8,000 up into the 8,200. And then later on, this week, we actually touched 8,400. Huge gains in the market.
Just over 8,400. It might only be $16 over 8,400, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Critically, look at this volume.
Great, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very healthy 24 hours, almost $7 billion.
That's a lot of money.
Volume has remained up over $7 billion. Now it's down.
High fives.
Back down to the high fives.
But still, healthy volume. It's not being oversold and it's not being overbought.
Now this to me is a very healthy sign. The volume that we see on the Bitcoin chart is the same between where it is now and where it was at 7,700. So this is a couple days ago here at 7,700, day and a half or so, and we have the same volume, but we're not seeing a sell-off. We're seeing those gains are maintained.
Yeah. So with that being said, with the volume today, where it was at the end of the 23rd, 2 days ago, are we poised for another $1,000 run?
Let's take a look at the chart and apply what we were just talking about. So if we look at the day indicator for Bitcoin, so this is going to give us a overall trend. This is not necessarily for kind of as far as trading within the day, because this is a little bit too slow of updates for it to be responsive to that, and so this is not to be used for day trading, but just a general line indicating kind of where the pumps are. Now, keep in mind that when you use this MACD analysis, you need to be looking at the right timeline for what your investment is.
Yes.
So, if you're buying Bitcoin and you're feeling, like you want to hold on to this for, a month, 2 months, and let it kind of see. These day-long candles will give you a good kind of indicator of where the market is. And we really can kind of see this bear market. Look at this bear market from May to basically late June. I mean, we're talking just the MACD here. So when we talk about the MACD, what we're doing, I'm looking down here at these lines down here. So you can see on the graph, you can see how the waves of volume are rising. So positive trading here. We had a run. This was a run that was started down around 6,800 and ran all the way up to 10K.
Beautiful.
What a run. What a beautiful run. So that was over a few weeks. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks here. And then after that period, then we had a long just bear market. The gains that we had, you can see, then the gains here minimal. Very, very minimal. Whatever gains that were made were instantly just wiped out, and it just happened again. We have a little bit of gains here, just wiped out, before reaching a bottom of 57.50.
Scary. That's pretty scary.
Now, don't you remember when there were some lines of resistance at like 6,100, 6,000,
Oh, yeah.
and people were saying it's just going to hang on, right? It's just going to hold on for dear life. Did it hang on?
It did.
It broke through, but it was scary times. But now look at those people who bought in, who bought the dip, who used MACD analysis to say, look, I'm going to look at this chart right here, and I'm going to see, okay, it's had negative, it's starting to trend positive. You know what? I'm going to wait, because these are day-long candles. So let's take a look. Let's wait here. Let's say you wait, you see the positive trend, but that could have been another baby,
Mm-hmm.
So let's give it another day. So you wait one more day. So here we're on the second day of growth. We look at it and we say this is trending positively. At a minimum, we'll see something like this.
Yeah.
So at a minimum,
maybe $50.
Yeah, at a minimum, we look at the previous trade.
That'd be like $100, but
yeah, on this run, just for context, the low 74, the high 76. I mean, really nothing. That's like $100 here and there.
Unless you're tossing around like whole Bitcoins, that's not gonna be a big profit zone for you.
Regardless, right, is all about percentages. So whether you're a big investor or a small investor,
profit's profit nonetheless. But
you want to stay ahead of fees. So it can be a break-even situation, or you can, depending on the fees and the transfers and that kind of thing. So my advice in that situation is just don't trade, because you can be in a situation, not necessarily with Bitcoin where the volatility is going to get you, but if you have to be, I find that the most important thing when trading, you need to time your entry point well to a point where you have solid support, and we're going to talk about how to how to find that. But so here we are, second day into the pump. Okay, for the conservative, risk-averse investor, you might wait one more day. I'm a risk moderate to high risk, so I look at it and I say the second day of green positive is enough for me. So let me go ahead and get in here. So you get in. Ultimately, even if you get in and you see positive growth on the MACD, that doesn't necessarily mean that the overall day was positive. You can have...
It could be a sideways push.
You can have a sideways push. Like, for example, if we look here at this line that we're on right now, within the MACD, which is this bottom line here, the MACD is showing overall positive growth because it's trending positive against its average. So its average was heading down.
What do with my drink? There we go.
If we look here, we had very, very negative trend. So it's still trending negative, but
that's the bulls fighting the bears, man. That's what that is.
Yep, that's
right. That's what all that green red says to me is, there's going to be a lot of tough, resistance there, and the alternating candles, it to me reflects that. But ultimately, once you get closer to about the 17th there, between the 9th and the 17th, those nice pronounced candles just heading up, up, and up. A little bit of sideways movement, and then up, up again. So, are the bulls back? I think so. I think we're going to see a nice push. Because we're sitting at around 8,100 right now. The high on the day was almost 8,500.
Yeah.
It's a nice swing. So
just look at yesterday.
Yeah.
So if we dial it back in,
now that is a beautiful chart.
So this is a couple days here, and again, if we look at now we've narrowed our time frame down to 2-hour candles.
Yeah.
And so what this is the expectation that you are going to trade within the day, not necessarily within the hour, but 1 to 2 days, maybe, because the bull runs here are lasting for basically a full day. So you're not going to be. This isn't a situation. And this bear run right here was 2 days. So you know.
But look at on the MACD, look at that beautiful divergence there, starting on the 17th.
Here.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That was nice. And actually, there was really just bullish all over. This is why everyone's so bullish on Bitcoin.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And that kind of brings me into another point that I would like to make is, right here at 1600 on the 18th here, normally when you see the MACD cross over at the top, you would expect, a pretty decent sell-off to start happening.
Yeah.
But that doesn't reflect on the 2-hour candle. It's a sideways push, again, telling me the bears are back and they don't want the price to go down. Or no, I'm sorry, the bulls are back.
Yeah.
Bulls are back.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So very interesting. Like you said, I mean, trending negative for, the vast majority of times means the price is going to go down. Yeah, this was, on the 18th, and then the 19th, the 20th.
Kind of bottomed out at the end of the 21st.
Yep. And then, so as the 21st started rolling, I mean, still, the bears were equally powerful compared to the bulls, because even when we trended positive, we still really had a little bit of flat movement, not really that much right away. So it took another bull run to get us up, and look at that. That was just, we had a double run.
Yeah, great stuff.
So sometimes what'll happen is that you get to a situation where the positive trend line for your MACD gets down to the smallest, amount. And then rather than flipping negative and going back, the volume just surges. There's another surge of buying. People are saying, I made my money, I'm going to buy back in,
Yeah.
Or you get new people who kind of FOMO in, they say...
They see the pump.
They see the first pump and they say, you know what?
I don't want to miss the bus.
I'm feeling it. Let's go. There's not enough negative action here. So they might look here and say, looking at the negative trend being so unimpactful, and then even beyond that, the negative trend really not moving the price that much.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So what that says to me, that says, my investment is very safe.
Yeah, the funds are safe.
Yeah, the funds are safe. If you guys are not familiar, the funds are safe memes are pretty dank. They're about the BitConnect. I think it was not BitConnect.
CZ.
Is it the
CEO of Binance?
The Binance. Yeah, excuse my BitConnect reference there. The Binance CEO was tweeting your funds are safe while they were doing some kind of maintenance to help against a DDoS or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was the Syscoin hack is when all that happened.
Oh, is that the coin that was sold for
that 90... artificially pumped at up to 96 Bitcoin or something that? Something absurd.
Man, I think it's just hilarious how all that happens. But definitely, as we've commented before, the fact that they reacted to secure their own
with
exchange
such urgency too, because they didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
they could have said, you guys are, you guys are cucked. Sorry, this is the Wild West of investing, and there's nothing we can do about it. But the fact that CZ and the team stepped up and stopped not only trading on Syscoin, but stopped trading across the board, stopped everything.
Yeah.
That, to me, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
So hats off to CZ.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
that was a tough call to make, and that was potentially a huge loss in profit to them, because how they make profits on their fees and everything.
That's right. And
the fact that CZ and his team were willing to take those losses to make sure that everybody else is protected, that's a heart of gold right there. Heart of Bitcoin.
Just filled with golden Satoshis.
Mm-hmm.
I love it because it shows, the market, the Bitcoin market, as well as, the crypto market in general, it can be nerve-wracking.
It can, absolutely.
I mean, the fact that once you start moving, into the altcoins, especially we've had some fun with some listings this week.
Yeah.
You've done very well trading, on doing some swing trading with volume, and I think that's something that, that works at any time in any market.
Yeah, I put the MACD strategy under a pretty rigorous test.
You were on hot.
Yeah, I did some MACD trading on hot, which is the hollow token that was listed yesterday at midnight. And then, just various other tests on like 0x using the MACD indicator. And I want to say around 95% of my profit or trades were profitable. The remaining 5% was probably me dicking around and not paying attention.
Yeah.
So, it's, to me, MACD is probably one of the most powerful tools for trading, coupled with the RSI, Relative Strength Index. I mean, there's even some people who use the Bollinger Bands to see, where the volume lies, in terms of being overbought or oversold. I mean, that's available there. Yep, see? And now I know a lot of people are going to see this and going to be like, what is this gigantic intestine thing looking on my computer? But honestly, the Bollinger Bands are really easy to read.
Yeah.
The closer that your wick or the candle is to the top of the Bollinger Band means that it's getting towards being overbought.
Mm-hmm.
And the lower it is to the bottom line means it's closer to being oversold. And if it's flying right down the middle, then you're looking good.
It's in equilibrium. But rarely, the thing about it is because of the volatility,
yes.
Unless you're looking at very short candles, so if we were to move this to the 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 or 5 minute candles.
There's really, you can still kind of use it, but it's very hard to say just because the 1 minute, it really doesn't do it. Especially if you're looking at something like, you can go a little too deep into it, right? So you can go and you can get the hot BTC chart going, which eventually you get down to the point. And what is the reason why does it break down when you keep zooming in? Because eventually you get to the point where you can't trade at specifically higher or lower, the width of it here, because these are one full Satoshi, so it kind of breaks down. But overall, a great indicator.
Mm-hmm.
You need some volume, and it has to be. It can't be down on the single Satoshi thing. Here's some hot. So even the 1 minutes here with some nice movement, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or those are 5 minutes, but. So anyway, so you getting back to it. So you had plenty of success with the hot Ether.
Yeah, I was trading hot against Ether. Hot, for those who didn't follow the listing or anything or follow the project, Hollow token is the cryptocurrency being used by the Hollow chain.
Yeah.
Which we have a little bit later on in the stream to talk about that and what it is and their goals and everything.
We can just talk about it now. We're on the topic.
Yeah, sure.
So Hollow Chain, really interesting. I did a little research on them. They had a ICO up through April, and they raised 30,000 Ether.
Yep. Just over.
Yeah, a little bit over 30,000 Ether,
which is great.
And basically they are looking to do dApps in the style of Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to use basically sharded confirmations instead of they have agent-centric consensuses instead of regular consensus. So instead of getting your consensus along the chain in the normal network, they want to have it kind of like a peer-to-peer distributed confirmation system.
And I'm glad that you touched on the peer-to-peer side because the Hollow chain operates much differently than other ERC20 or even Bitcoin-based coins operate. Most of the stuff that you're going to see, you've got Bitcoin, which is proof of work. And then you've got, let's say, something that's proof of stake. And these are all giant networks that are holding, tiny bits of distributed information. Now the holochain functions completely independent of any sort of like cloud network or anything like that, meaning, there's no servers or anything like that. Like, there's no server space being occupied at a farm somewhere.
Right.
What the holochain uses is actually the fog network, which in layman's terms, instead of having a bunch of servers running it, you have private individuals with, just basic, PCs or laptops, MacBooks, phones. They are the ones that are building the network and contributing that power to it. So it's very interesting to see such a individual-driven project like that. And another interesting thing, I haven't really decided how I feel about it just yet.
Which one is that?
Touching on HoloToken and the HoloChain, in a recent interview, I say recent, probably a couple months ago at this point, but
relatively recent.
One of the lead devs or developers at HoloChain said that the HoloChain does not need a crypto economy to survive. Now, with that being said, what does that say for HoloToken? Because the HoloToken, as it is, exists on the blockchain.
Right.
But once the HoloChain is, has gone mainnet, has completely separated from the blockchain, and has created their own, does that mean HoloToken is going to survive that transition?
You mean from like a trading point of view?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there would be no incentive to hold it, so people would dump it, and...
Yeah, so is this just a fad? Or is it going to go the way of Substratum?
Well, Substratum did very well.
It did, yeah. It did very well.
It's
just SUB. Yep.
It is up nicely over the past 24. So it's having a nice positive thing, but both the Satoshi and Ether price have been trending negative this week.
Yeah.
So if we look back a little bit, let's see if we can time the announcement. This is probably more in time with that pump or this one.
Yeah.
This pumped from... There were two pumps. So it started at 2870 and pumped to, so about 300 sat gain there. This was 3150 to 3790.
It's nice.
So 550.
Yep.
Some more volatility here, and I can guarantee you. Let's see. Do you think that the MACD would predict these rises? Because I bet you they do. Let's see where they trade. They trade on perfect.
Yeah.
This is juicy, man. I might have to...
So don't forget you're on the 1 hour candle, so the MACD might not save you here.
Yeah, you're right.
Trending downward for the most part.
Evening out, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems to be a nice little sideways push, but the altcoins have been suffering badly while Bitcoin is on its way up.
No,
but that's to be expected.
I think this is a good...
That is nice.
This is a good general indicator, right? So, like, we're not saying that MACD is every time going to just send you to a huge pump.
It's not bulletproof.
Because sometimes, even though it's trending positive against the moving average, there's still enough up and down within that candle to where you can have wicks, or you can have some negative movement if you start high and end low towards the end. It just happens the timing of it. So
absolutely.
So there can be that. But anytime like you see if you see a positive green MACD, and you see positive growth in that MACD, that's
going to be a nice ride for you.
That's juicy. If you see that, the slope of your MACD is starting to level out, that means that the slope of the MACD is actually a negative indicator, right? So we see that this MACD, starting from right, we had big jumps in green positivity here, and then and then even though these numbers look very positive, because they're not changing very much, we see that reflected here. There really wasn't that movement, but here we had pronounced. So this pump, which was from, let's call it 2550, and it goes up to 2750, so 200 sats over a 2-hour period.
Yeah.
So if you got 2 hours to kill, you watch this for 200 sats per at 22 cents. If you have,
got $100, throw at it, why not?
I was going to say, let's say $220.
Yeah.
So at 22 cents, and you buy 100 of them. Right? So 220. Wait, is that right? It was
no.
No, you need to buy 1,000 of them for that much. Right? 22 cents. So 10 would be 220. Stream math is just so dangerous. 10 would be 220. 100 would be 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1,000. Jesus.
Come on, man.
Stream math, baby. No, it's because you're looking at so many decimals and stuff.
Yeah, it gets tricky sometimes. Then you start having to figure out the fucking exponents and stuff. But
oh man,
how to move decimals and stuff.
Speaking of a little fun fact here about exponents, how the difficulty rate, basically what determines the mining difficulty is this equation, right? It's spit out.
It's just an algorithm.
And it's uses a 2 to the, I want to say 250th power.
Yeah.
Which, if you actually put into a calculator to find out what that is, it's 1 and then point blah 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 2, and then it has e, so with the places out to 77 places. So just to give you an idea, that is, if a billion is 10 places, right? So a billion is 10 places. So it's a billion, billions, billions and billions. Like it just keeps on billions and billions and billions. Times over, and it's like the number is just so astronomically high.
Yeah.
That's why you need this computing power. To create it.
Super computing and very specialized computing power too, because the ASICs. The hardware that's used to mine Bitcoin right now, it's designed to do only one thing and one thing only, and that's to run that equation over and over and over and over and over and over and over to solve the block and unlock rewards for everybody, depending on the computing power they contribute to that.
Yeah.
But we'll do a mining stream on all that later on.
Yeah, actually, that's what I wanted to set up for the next stream. This one we're focusing a little bit more on international news and upcoming new projects and the Ethereum chain. But next, we're going to go into in-depth on it. We do hope to possibly feature some additional analysis from our technical analyst, or possibly to have some input there from a friend who is want to get involved with the project programmatically. Yeah. So
speaking of which, I think this is a good time to sort of touch on those two things. So we've had one partner who is who's been with the project and helped us, push things along for some time, and we've decided to formally make him our TA analyst, and he's going to be doing some charts for us, so that way we'll have more in-depth charts for the people that rely on those to do their trading. We'll have much more notes and stuff to cover on the 7-day charts, And on to our next person, which we just recently added to the team over the weekend. We've decided to bring him on as our tech consultant in case some of the stuff gets a little too out of our wheelhouse. So he'll be on deck to help us explain it. But I just want to give a huge shout out and thanks to both Diego, or if you're in our Discord, Decrypto, and Ace Timms, our 2 new analysts.
Yep, and reach them out on our Discord, which we will have available. Ace is available. Critim5064 as well on the Discord.
Yep, and you'll be able to find Diego, aka Decrypto, in his own little room and Decrypto Chart Chatter.
Yep, that's right. And we're also, have an air dump channel for...
Why don't you drag it over so they can have a look at our Discord and what we've got going on?
Yep. So here's the Discord airdrop channel. Again, we are sorting through these, but generally speaking, if they make it through our bot, feel free to try it. Haven't done all of them, so full disclosure. But I think they're fine, and so this is just something for those who want to do the airdrops. But what kind of time frame do you think from when they start the process to when they would actually receive the airdrop do you expect for a lot of these?
Ultimately, it just depends on how quickly they reach their soft and hard cap. I've seen my payouts come as quickly as a month, and there are some that I've done last year that I've never even gotten. So really, it's hit or miss. You just have to be picky with what you sign up for. I know some of these airdrops promise $100 or $50, but don't let that fool you. Do your research on the project, read their white paper, see what it's all about before make. It's not really a huge commitment because you're not going to lose anything, but it'd be nice to have a few extra sats or a few extra gwei to throw around. But that's the kite bot that you'll find in our Discord. And we've also got a couple of other bots, Blocky, which is our little coin assistant. It'll tell you nice prices and stuff for various coins and stuff, just like that.
Give you the market cap.
Mm-hmm.
And they change the 1 hour, 24 hour, and 7 day.
Yep. And then we've got the Coinbase bot, which is kind of simple. It just tells you what's going on with the Coinbase coins and stuff, but good to have.
Yeah, and so just reach out to us either via Twitter or through a message in chat. We'll get you an invite to the Discord.
Absolutely.
So
either one of us or Ace or Diego will create an invite for you.
So you can reach out to us. This is our Twitter as well.
Yes.
So just at real_BlockTalk. Considering a not giving away ETH tag. So if you see that,
yes.
Add it in, that's fine. There's some interesting back and forth here from the MetaMask team. Back and being in the Chrome Web Store. Stay tuned for a formal retrospective. So that was actually interesting. Crypto Panda, Major Whale.
Or Whale Panda,
Or Whale Panda, rather.
Made an announcement about how Google had taken MetaMask off the store because some imposter had replaced it, but...
Is it Whale Panda?
Yeah, Whale Panda, yeah.
So very kind of FUD-inducing. So again, fear, uncertainty, and doubt-inducing, kind of tweet.
Yeah, which
about MetaMask.
A lot of people use MetaMask. I use MetaMask. You use MetaMask.
Yeah.
So that's kind of alarming to see, an interface that I've had much success with, and I love MetaMask to death, and I've never had a single problem with it. To see something like that, that's very alarming or very shocking.
Yeah, and so again, we talked a little bit about this on previous streams, and we, while I think both of us right now are relatively bullish about, the Bitcoin market especially, that doesn't mean that, we're 100% right here. I mean, it's really just, it's just kind of our thought and our kind of feeling and different things like that. So, with regards to why I bring that up is because Whale Panda, right? He's a guy. He takes payments from people to shill them. So, he's a very rich guy. Apparently, or maybe he's just seems that way. Now, he's doing a couple things. He shared an article, Why Major Cryptocurrency Investors Are Betting Heavily Against Ethereum. I think there's a case to be made there that Ethereum is, possibly just not going to gain. Like, it's just not sexy. It's just not generating the institutional interest. It's more like, it's too heavy on the utility side and not seen enough as a monetary thing. And
see, I totally disagree with that, because the possibilities for Ethereum and it being a monetary alternative to, fiat currency it makes it much more viable than something like Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash. Because, your first time using MetaMask and moving Ether around and stuff, I mean, would you not say that you were pleasantly surprised at how cheap it was to move it, how fast it was to move it? And both of us, we moved around a little bit of crypto a few days ago, both Ether and Bitcoin. And, for me to move a very insignificant amount of Bitcoin out of Bittrex into Binance took 30 minutes, whereas, moving an equally insignificant amount of Ether from MetaMask to Binance took a fraction of the time.
Right. And I would definitely echo that. I mean, Ether is seemingly a far superior system. It does have a little bit less volume on it. If we look at the total volume comparison, so Bitcoin has about 3 times the volume, but even still, I think if Ether had the same volume, I think that it would still be a manageable enterprise. I think that it could handle that volume.
Oh yeah, because I mean,
traffic,
with how fast and how cheap it is to move it, like, I don't see why the volume isn't a lot higher.
Yeah, and honestly, it's partially because of how Ether is designed. The
smart contract system.
Yeah, having some of the automation take place through distributed applications allows for transactions to be confirmed far quicker. And even though there's a huge amount of hash power out there, devoted right now to mining Ether, eventually they're going to, I believe through the Casper release, move to proof of stake.
Yep.
So that's really interesting too. They're going to move away from mining, which I think is genius. It's very healthy for the coin. I think that mining hash ultimately, because there's a limited supply of Bitcoin.
Yes, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin.
So right now there's 17 million, 17.1 million in circulation.
Yeah. So
what that says to me is that once those 4 million Bitcoin are mined over the course of the next 5 years, 10 years, however, I'm not sure. We'll have to investigate what the total hash rate is, and if you want to tweet us, that'd be dank. But I'll go ahead and just say we'll do the calculations ourselves.
Yeah.
And but
somebody's got an answer for us. Please let us know.
Yeah, if you already did this, by all means. But basically, to see at the current hash rate, maybe add in a little bit increase because of the increase that's going to happen over time. I mean, the hash rate just over the past year increased to like 150%. So really big increases.
Fantastic growth in hash rate.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, if you think about, Bitcoin came around in 2009. So in 9 years, we've managed to go from 0 Bitcoin to 17 million Bitcoin. So how long do you think is it going to take for us to get that last 4 million Bitcoin? And also, here's another tough question. What happens to Bitcoin after the 21 millionth Bitcoin is mined? But discussions for a later date.
Yeah.
So let's dive into some international news here.
Yep. Just real quick, we did want to before we move to that, basically, we are going to, as we said, have some chart analysis coming in. We do want to possibly, get set up on a smart contract. I think that would be a really cool thing to walk the stream through. So that's something that we'll try to work in on a future stream as well. So internationally news, you were saying. Let's take a look here. So one thing that is interesting that I've been looking at this week was where volume was.
Yeah.
And so where is the volume on something like Ether? So if you look at Bitcoin, we know that Bitcoin trades all over, right? It's very, very spread out. But the highest volume for Bitcoin at 400 million is going to be on Binance, which you can get access to just by opening up your account from virtually anywhere.
Yeah, just about anywhere. They do. I think they have a KYC or like a know your customer process where you have to submit, identification to be verified, but.
And they have different levels of verification.
Yeah.
That you can set up as well.
Absolutely.
So that would allow you to increase the limits of movement of currency, within your account and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So while Binance is the top, trading market for Bitcoin, it doesn't end up being the same way for Ether. So if we take a look at Ether, Ether is a much more internationally bought and sold currency. Binance, with a USDT trading pair,
and
only third place with 4%. So not a little bit under 4%, really not there. If we look at OKEX and Huobi, so Huobi, Chinese exchange, I believe. OKEX, possibly the same.
Not open for American traders.
Neither are open for U.S.-based trading. So, and that's something that, it kind of raises some questions. I mean, why do you think that they would restrict U.S.-based customers?
I don't know. That could be, whether it's, economic or political motivations for that. Considering that, OKX and Huobi are potentially Chinese, this whole, Trump's Chinese trade war, that could have something to do with it. I don't know.
So you think political tensions between the U.S. and China play a role, and the Chinese hosted?
It could. I'm pretty sure that those two exchanges weren't open to American traders even before the trade war. But, that could be fuel on the fire, later on down the line. But as far as, for any ordinary reason why they wouldn't allow American investors, I really don't know. Yeah, we're able to trade EOS and everything else. So, why aren't we able to trade on Huobi and OKX?
What's going on with EOS Reddit?
Are they getting DDoSed?
Maybe.
What does that stand for? Directed denial of service or something like that?
What, DDoS? Yep. Denial of service.
Basically, they just flood the servers with so much traffic that nobody can access it.
It's just not working for the new Reddit for whatever reason. But, I mean, these are recent posts, 6 hours ago. Yeah, so it's...
Yeah.
So, now, why are we talking about EOS? Why are we talking about international currency? Because, there's a lot of volume on this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, there's different surges at different times of day. So, lately...
we're all about the London pump.
Yeah, so what ends up happening is for those who are looking to trade sort of after the prime hours in the West, folks that are, third shift workers, or, just night owls, or folks that are kind of up later in the night, sort of on the European schedule, they can actually take advantage of what we've kind of dubbed the London pump.
Yeah, which seems to be, right around, 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S., if you consider the 5-hour difference between East Coast U.S. to, England and the UK, that makes it, 7, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
People are just getting their computers online, checking the markets.
Yeah.
Maybe throwing in a couple sats, throwing some ether around.
Yeah.
And, the other day when I was doing a little bit of trading on 0x, testing the MACD, lo and behold, and true to itself, the London pump came online, and I made a bunch of rather profitable trades. It was a lot of fun.
So I want to kind of get into that at the 1 hour. So if we look here, this is midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Really, this pump kind of got started at 3 p.m., but if you really want to look at the chart, kind of hit bottom right around here.
Yeah. And again, trading days are never going to be the same every time.
But midnight does seem to be a trigger.
Yeah. Because I'm not sure what UTC time is, which is 4 hours ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make landfall anywhere? Maybe like Spain, Portugal?
I think they're on London time.
Okay.
They're on GMT +1.
Yep, so 5 hours ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. London time.
And they're Central European, which is right after that 1 hour. And that covers a lot as well. So 5 to 6 hours ahead of where we are. And you can actually kind of see that reflected here. We had a look at the 0x, one of the Coinbase
5, yeah. What better coin to test the MACD trading on?
You're telling me. So right at here, we are at midnight, and we are starting a nice pump, and it ends up going about almost 1,000 sats up. 100, excuse me.
Not a huge...
Okay, it was up here. My indicator wasn't right up. So, more like, let's say about 800.
Mm-hmm.
So, 800 sats per, again,
but
if you have 100.
Thinking back, though, like this, the chart looks nice and all, but what we were working on is, like I was doing some day trading, so that sort of volatility isn't necessarily going to interpret in the 1 hour candle. So if we dial that back to like maybe 5-minute candles, there we go. And let's for kicks and giggles, let's run it back to, let's say, July 21st.
All right, well, we got to go back in time for that shit.
That's fine. I'll hop in my TARDIS and become a Bitcoin billionaire. Look at that. Like,
now, this is still the 25th.
yeah, it's still the 25th, but
it's a nice pump.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Pump of about 1,000 sats.
Here we are at 13.4, 14.1, so a nice 700.
700, yeah.
So again, if you're buying in here, for about $1, so you got about $100. You throw it at that. You buy 100 of them.
Mm-hmm.
You end up with a 700 sat gain.
Beautiful.
And so you just made 700 times, you have 100 coins.
Yep.
So 100 times that, then you'd be up, basically 10,000 sats. So you can use that to strengthen your, basically buy in more. Now, obviously, what we talked about too about this pump,
getting
right up
way
against
overbought.
that. Yeah, so this is dangerous. So as that pump, when it's pumping like that, it's gonna correct.
Yeah, the correction is inevitable.
Yeah.
When it gets to a point to where it's overbought.
Always corrects when it starts moving along that MACD line, or excuse me, the Bollinger Band.
Yeah, and once it gets to the point to where it's overbought, you'll see those Bollinger Bands, like they'll diverge way apart.
That's what we're seeing here. So the Bollinger Band, I believe, is a line created that is 2 standard deviations away from the price points.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's definitely a rearward, facing indicator, right? It's looking back at kind of...
Yeah, it's retrospective.
It's kind of looking back at the past, however long your candles are, but I would say...
But all of your TA is, though.
Mm-hmm. Now, the advantage is, though, is that you see these trends building.
Yeah.
So if you see a trend building, that's usually going to have, because the volume comes in waves,
Mm-hmm.
people jump in, and smart people jump in early, and less attentive people jump in, or people who are just checking in jump in, and then it just keeps going like that. So definitely some good advice there. And we'll have D Crypto on, here soon to take a look at what we're going to be looking at. So, keeping with the the theme here of our international, we talked about the London pump. One thing that affects all crypto buyers, large and small, is what kind of exchange you trade on, whether it's a centralized
or decentralized.
Yeah. So one of the exchanges I traded on this week was a fully decentralized exchange called IDEX.
Yeah.
And what was interesting about IDEX, so I got experience, not just, man, that's a candle right there.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 0x.
It's good for my 0x holdings.
Is it time to jump in?
I'm already in.
Let's FOMO in, baby. 25, 35. Okay, there's a big gap here. Let me set mine for 14,386. All right, let's try that. I think I'm gonna get in. Probably not, eh? I'm trying to get. See. I'm just gonna wait a second, see if it gets snatched up. Cause look at the size of these orders; they're small.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get snatched up here. Some buys, 500. Okay. Let's see if my order 0% filled. You know what? I'm just gonna do a conditional buy. This is silly. All right. So if it hits, let's see, 14 even. 14,400.
Sure.
400.
But remember, I mean, you're getting close to that top Bollinger Band.
Yeah, but look at the start of this.
Yeah. I mean, you got a window of time. You've got about 40 minutes or so.
Is that right? 14,400. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So I got my buy order in there. Just some sats I've got to play with here. You never want to take your whole bag of crypto. I mean, you can, but
just don't
if you're okay absorbing risk, it potentially is ridiculous how you can swing trade and you can build up your coin, but you got to be very attentive.
Well, you just got filled.
Okay, well, I own a little over 1,000 0x now. So
congratulations.
All right, so stop limit.
You filled at 400. You might want to consider getting that in now.
Let's say I'll do a stop limit of sell order. Let's say I'll sell if it gets up to 25. Is that too conservative?
You got a couple of walls going up. Not big ones.
These are small. I mean, you know.
Not even, like, the biggest one is just over half a Bitcoin, so not too detrimental.
Yeah, but this guy's bought in 3,200. So someone could eat up. These are still small potatoes. I mean, It's all small.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see when you look at the depth book? What are you looking for here that we can?
I'm just looking
share?
for nice, clean run-ups in the cell book. My concern is like seeing these gigantic cliffs where you're going to run smack into this gigantic buy or sell wall that you're just not going to be able to punch through.
Yeah, but look how low.
Yeah, this looks great. I mean, that there's clean run-ups.
Mm-hmm. Potentially up to here.
Yeah.
So that would be 1450.
Like a 50 sat gain, yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's go back to the chart and see how our MACD is looking. 1 minute. Well, we got in somewhere in here.
Which is okay. Because you could still run back to like 14.5.
Yeah, I'm going to give it some time.
Yeah. Don't hodl. Just time your exit correctly. And wisely.
Yeah. I'll set my stop loss like down here or something. 14.3.
No.
That's too low, eh?
Like
I want to set my stop loss like down here below the band.
Yeah, you could probably pull off like right at 14.3.
14.3.
You don't really have too many sell-offs loading in there, but there is that considerable buy wall that it's just about to run into.
Yeah, so I think it's going to bounce back. The sell resistance will run out, maybe chewing through it. Let's see.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to get through that wall, considering how small the buys have been, or the sells anyway.
Well, I'll do right below it. So if it does crumble or gets moved, then I'm safe.
Safe.
14.449. Right? 14.
Yeah.
4. No.
3.
349. See? Let's go double check. Yeah, see, people are buying 79, 80, so there's going to be some sell into this.
Yeah.
14.349. Okay. Alright, so what I just did was set a stop loss underneath a buy wall at about pretty significant sat lot. Not significant, but my entry point was okay, that was canceled. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, my buying point was at 400. This is at basically 350, so 50 sats.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully what happens is that it corrects.
Dead cat bounce off of that buy wall.
Comes back up. You think if it was reversed, would you believe in it to chew through a 5 Bitcoin sell wall?
Crazier things have happened, man.
Well, right.
I mean, hell, we were watching well, I think you were asleep at the time, but I was watching the Ether trading on HOT, and I mean, there were just 1,000 Ether orders being just eaten like no one's business.
Yeah. Funds are safer, indeed. Yeah, I feel you. The volume was very high, so this is kind of a low volume situation. We'll see if there can be some buyers coming in. If I can sell off, I got in at 400. I mean, my break-even point is like only right here.
Yeah,
So you know what I mean? Like, if I can get a sell...
Yeah, you're golden.
If we can get a buy pump up here, what if I sold at like... What if I sold at 420? Let's just say.
Hey. 420 no scope.
Blades it.
Yeah, your order's already in.
Will let me calculate? Yeah, so if I have that amount. So total 667K, 667. So it'd be about 20 sack gained.
Mm-hmm.
20,000 sack gained. So okay. So here we are. I just need some buy orders to jump up above that 400 mark.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing the odds right now. Trying to buy in low. Could I have bought in maybe lower?
Sure.
Yeah, but the point is that, I was looking at the 5-minute indicators. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And they still look good.
Do they?
MACD is still diverted and.
Yeah, but they're slowing. 3-minute, getting closer. 1 minute, passed.
But you're also about to potentially bounce off the bottom of that Bollinger Band, though.
Yep. So the sellers have eaten down to 350. And I think we're okay. I think we're in the green.
We'll be all right.
So I'll come back and check on this in just a moment. If you do... So if you do want to contact us directly, we will also respond to messages here on the Facebook page, which I have here indicated for you. Just hodl it, LOL. We don't TM this because we don't want to TM this because we don't ultimately want you to hodl.
No.
We want you to invest wisely, which sometimes can mean holding onto your bags with strong hands.
Yeah.
Because it can be scary,
Verge.
Verge, yeah. Holding on, speaking of holding things, if you, do have Verge, you can always get that Pornhub sub,
Dirt cheap, man, I'm telling you.
Do we know how many Verge it is to get a membership?
I don't know.
Verge, Pornhub price.
I want to say when it first went live, it was only like 1,000 Verge, or not even 1,000 Verge. Verge sinks and even Pornhub can't come to the rescue. Story of Verge's life.
Yeah. So anyway, if you ever do need to reach out to us, you can do so on our Facebook page, where we will post announcements as well as posting the VODs. If you do want to actually watch the stream at a later date, couldn't catch it live, we understand people have things going on.
Absolutely. The VODs are video on demand. I call them VODs. Sometimes I call them VODs. Just however they come out. They'll be posted both here to the Facebook page as well as the YouTube page that we have that we're working on.
Yeah.
We're still doing some tweaking and setting up on that one, so the urgency for that one isn't quite there yet. But by all means, please, if there's anything that stood out to you in any of the streams, you'll be able to find it in the VOD on Facebook or YouTube, and please watch them. That's what they're there for. It's meant to be informative, educational, and a little bit of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll also help connect you with either our Twitter community or Facebook groups that we're involved with, where you can kind of meet other traders and ask questions.
And we'll definitely get you in the Discord, where there's other Discord groups that we work with.
Yeah.
We'll be definitely glad to help you out with that.
Absolutely. We did want to just go over some quick headlines here.
Yes.
From this past week. So we had rankings from the Chinese government for cryptos. EOS was ranked number 1 by the Chinese government for the second month in a row. So EOS has quite a lot of backing in China.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at kind of how they made this analysis, it was a combination of different things. Ethereum, number 2 point. Bitcoin, way down here, I believe in 16th position. You know, Ripple at 13th, so definitely way down there.
Ripple.
You know, different, you know, different scores and stuff, you know, have different other options here.
Yeah.
On this particular unit from the
CN Ledger not giving away ETH.
Yep. So the not giving away ETH tab is because there are so many scammers.
Yeah, copycats.
Who create a Twitter account and they say giving away ETH. And so that's a way for people to get their accounts phished and, you know, then and opened
It's very
up.
unfortunate.
So Ether came in first on this ranking, so definitely they're big fans of both EOS and you know, and Ethereum over in Asia, you know, and as well as Ripple. You know, big volume there, Japan and Korea on Ripple.
Yeah.
Now another rating came out of the cryptocurrencies. For this one from the Weiss ratings. They're a financial organization. They do stocks, they do bonds, they do insurance companies, they do banks, and they you know, put out their evaluation of the different coins. One of those is going to be Ethereum, which got a B. None of the coins actually got an A, so they were very critical. Bitcoin got a C+. Bitcoin does receive an A in one of the 4 indexes, so, you know, that's kind of the fundamentals,
okay.
You know. There was risk and technology indexes, repeated price crashes, and weaknesses in governance, energy consumption, scalability.
Oh, man. Energy consumption and scalability are 2 of my biggest pet peeves with Bitcoin, and I know, you know, in the life of this stream, you'll hear me bitch and moan about it. Bitcoin isn't profitable to mine because it uses up so much energy, and the scalability just isn't there because the network is just so congested with all these BS forks that they have, like Bitcoin Gem and Bitcoin Diamond, which strangely pumped like the other day. But
yeah, Bitcoin Diamond actually, Bitcoin.
Yeah, shitcoin Diamond. Oh no, my laptop is dying.
You want to go plug it in real quick?
Yeah, I just don't want to disturb the camera or anything.
You're fine. There should be another plug on the power strip. If you need to unplug something, you could probably unplug the amp.
Bear with me, folks.
Or you can unplug my phone charger because my phone is at 43. So.
There's a plug right behind me.
Yeah. Use that wall plug right there.
Beautiful.
That is actually Providence.
Such great engineering.
Yeah. So we see Bitcoin Diamond, which has $2.7 million of daily volume. So who is buying Bitcoin Diamond? Well, it turns out it's China. Well, at least on Huobi. On Huobi, they buy the most Bitcoin Diamond, about a quarter of the whole market. And then the trading pair on Binance gets about another fifth or so, 18%. Taking a look at Bitcoin Diamond right now, when we see Bitcoin Diamond having some very nice movements right here. Oh no, that's 0x. Let's see.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
What's wrong?
My sell order didn't
process.
It placed the order, but it didn't fill.
At all. Holy shit. Well, pray for a bounce.
Yeah, I'm gonna look to the 15-minute gods.
15 minutes, you're all right.
It is kind of narrowing. Okay, so this is the 1 hour. It could get back
easily.
It's gonna move away from this for a little bit. I should have looked at this chart. It's gonna come down to around here before making another push. The moving average just needs to kind of keep trending up.
Yeah, and it will.
It'll drag up. I mean, look at that pump. All right, well, my investment did not. So very interesting on the. Did I do it wrong?
And you filled it in the same way you put your conditional buy in.
Right. So let's say I do 14,200. If the last price drops to or below, in order to sell at a price of da-da-da will be placed. Okay. So I think I know what happened. So it dropped to it and then skipped it.
Okay.
And the problem is there's too much...
a little bit of volatility there.
There's a gap there between the buy and the sell book.
Yeah. So it probably just overlapped it. Didn't catch it in time.
Yep. Alright, how much am I bleeding here? If I sell at 200, just to say. 667K. 435. Oof. Alright, so that'd be about a 220. K drop.
Or you could ride the 1 hour back up to 15,000 and see what happens.
I'm going to. I mean, will we see positive growth here? I'm one to naturally be suspicious.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You know, but we're going to hold it for a little while. All right. So, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. Overall, we haven't addressed all the coins, but feel free to check the different prices on your own there through CoinMarketCap. That's how we use it, or you can find the prices on different exchanges. I did talk a little bit about decentralized exchanging. What I'm going to do is have probably either a solo stream, or we can have a stream over, like we talked about FaceTime.
Like a simulcast or something like that.
Yeah, and so what we're going to do a little bit of a walkthrough there on the decentralized exchange and the Ethereum wallet. Using MetaMask,
yeah.
And just kind of walk people through the process there. I think really interesting was how we created the contract to include the hot...
Yeah, the token contracts, yeah.
The hot tokens. And I thought that was really interesting. You can see, you know, for example, you know, on my MetaMask, it's a web app, right? So you just click on it, and you have your Ether accessible. You can send it. And I believe you can send I'm not sure what this buy button is. Do you know what that's through? You can just buy Ether, or
just click on it and see what happens.
Okay.
There you go.
So you can select your service: Coinbase, crypto, fiat, USA only, or Shapeshift for crypto to buy Ether. So continue to Coinbase, and this will probably load up the Coinbase page. So yeah, but MetaMask super useful, and then decentralized trading was something really interesting where I had to load in. You don't create an account, you load in your wallet information.
And you get to choose how you integrate your wallet, whether you want to use like the
bit file or whatever that you get.
The DAT file, or you, in your case, use the MetaMask, which just basically automatically extracted all of the relevant information to what you were doing on IDEX. And placed everything in one nice, neat little repository of information.
Yeah.
I mean, for as simple as MetaMask looks, it's actually a really powerful tool to have.
It really is. It really is. It allows you to make transactions, and like we said before, the transactions, we can't play that song, unfortunately, due to copyright restrictions on. Unless it's a no copyright song, in which case we can play some music, but definitely looking to do some of that here in the future streams. So yeah, this is pretty painful stuff here. Looking at that, I might have to just make my exit here. Jesus. Let's see if it's coming back around. Well, it just deepened. Well, bought too many, my man. So people are buying in.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely look at some no copyright music as well. But anyway, overall, we talked about the EOS rankings in China. China #1.
Mm-hmm. China. We talked about Weiss.
Yeah. So there was something I thought was pretty interesting about the blockchain coffee.
Yes, that
from
news
Amsterdam.
story. Yeah.
So really interesting. Basically, what ended up happening was that a company created, it was a coffee startup in Amsterdam that was selling coffee, and on the tagline or the catch of their business is that they use blockchain to verify the sourcing for their beans, their coffee beans.
Right.
And the issue that we run into with so many of these crypto things is that it's more for the trendy name than for the reality.
Yeah.
Because critics point out that the trust still needs to be there from from the farmers. So
yeah.
And
in this case, what's keeping the farmers from fudging the numbers and totally violating that trust system there.
Exactly. You have to trust the farmers, and the reality is that we might trust them, but we can't say 100% that what their information is saying is true.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to verify. You can't trust but verify. Like they say. So, with regards to that, interesting idea, but really, I think a case of where they're trying to cash in on
the trend, much like everything that happened during the .com era.
Exactly.
You have like .com coffee shops popping up all over the place. I mean, hell, even in a couple of soap operas, they were trying to capitalize on that. That's where I got the .com coffee shop from. It was in a soap that my mom used to watch. Unfortunately, I don't know why I retained that bit of information, but it got accessed on the blockchain somewhere.
Yes, it did. So, really, the fact is that they'll probably do good, but they're not going to be, they're not going to be like the item in Amsterdam. No. It's just unless they come up with more. That's just a gimmick at this point.
Yeah, I mean it's just another way to try to capitalize off, ride the coattails of someone else's success. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah. Would you say overall that the Coinbase 5 have been doing well this week?
Yes.
So we looked at 0x. Let's zoom out and look at the, kind of the days.
There's still some volatility there because everybody's consolidating into Bitcoin, trying to ride that up. I can't say I blame them, but the altcoins definitely are suffering a little bit. But with that being said, the volatility is still there for some excellent swing trading. Just time your entries and exits right.
On 0x specifically, or which coins?
Let's see. There's 0x. There's Basic Attention Token.
Let's look at some BAT. How's BAT been doing?
BAT's been kind of got hit a little hard, but the volatility is still good for trading. You just got to get them locked in like super early. Let's back that out to the 5-minute candles. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for some quick swing trades, today probably isn't the best day for it.
I'm getting creamed on 0x as we speak. But should come back.
Yeah, I'm confident.
Overall, trending for 15-minute candles here.
Trending kind of sideways.
Yeah, I mean, but an overall upward trend.
Yeah,
right? The moving average.
Slight.
Moving average starting from about here or so. It's just trending
gradual.
upward. So I think that's good to know. Let's see, we got BAT, we got 0x,
Stellar Lumens, XLM.
Stellar Lumens, Bitcoin.
Nice pump.
Especially over the last few hours.
Mm-hmm.
Right around noon. If I had bought some at noon,
we'd be riding Lambos to get Chinese food.
37.50, dude. Yeah, 250 sats gain, 300 sat gain. Where was I? I was in 0x.
We were at the Chinese restaurant.
I was losing my mind. I should have dialed that one in and then gone to eat Chinese. This shit's overbought now.
Just wait for the belt.
He'll come back. Alright, so what else do we have? We had 0x, real interesting XLM, ADA.
Yep, Cardano. Mm-hmm.
Some swing trades here.
And let's see, what was ADA, XLM, BAT, 0x.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel like I forget one.
Zcash, probably.
Zcash, that's it. Ooh. That candle, though.
Yep, low was just under 26K, high was over 27K, so 1,000 Satoshi gain in about 15 minutes.
There. Nice.
Yep.
It's a right old crack.
Very, very nice volume. Negative trending now.
Yeah.
But if we dial it in, very little kind of
about
sideways
to bounce
movement.
off the bottom of the Bollinger Band.
Mm-hmm. Could be a good indicator. All right, that's pretty much all the ones we were looking at. How's old Hot doing?
I think it's chilling at about 11 sats right now. Kind of stagnating a little bit.
Yeah, the volume went after the listing there.
Everybody's kind of shifted their focus over towards substratum.
Hot BTC, does it still have the volume? Not really.
It's slowed way down.
That's just, you just hate to see it. No one is enthusiastic about it. They're so early on.
Yeah, I mean, this is literally...
They're gonna move sideways for a long time.
This is day 2 of Holo Token being live on Binance. So, prior to the listing, Holo Token was trading above 200 on IDEX. So, to put things in perspective, hopefully that's where it'll head.
Yeah. Yeah, all right, we got those going. We are still waiting on an important announcement from, I believe, the SEC regarding opening up a potential Bitcoin ETF.
Yes. So there is some discussion as to whether or not Bitcoin will be eligible for an ETF or an exchange-traded fund.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sure how I feel about a Bitcoin ETF. Now, there is the advantage of having a lot of institutional investors just absolutely dump buckets of money into Bitcoin. And that's great if you're already holding Bitcoin and you ride that surge up after institutional investment happens, then that's great. But what happens to your everyday Joe random investor? At that point, after institutional money has dumped into the Bitcoin market and Bitcoin goes up to $30,000, $40,000, $50,000,
people can still buy in.
But is it worth it at that point?
It will be ×5 worth it.
It's only ×5 if you bought in before the ETF.
Right, but if it reaches 30K and then you buy in, maybe with a year of that investment, it moves up to 100K.
Okay, but then you got
to think too. Scarcity is going to come into effect.
Yeah, and scarcity will be
once the last Bitcoins are mined,
and
suddenly there's true scarcity.
But then your average everyday investor is not. They're not going to be able to benefit from it.
Well,
because there's not going to be any good trading. And then also on the flip side, what happens if the ETF is overturned? Like, in my opinion, that's going to be absolutely devastating to Bitcoin.
Right. We're seeing right here on the screen hype because the ETF decision. But as we've seen multiple times,
buy the rumor, sell the news.
When news comes out,
you sell that shit.
Yep.
And you sell it quick.
Yeah, you do. You do.
I mean, maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about, and maybe Bitcoin, is granted an ETF, and it does phenomenally well, and is a complete game changer for the crypto industry, or maybe it fails and Bitcoin keeps on keeping on.
Well, if it's rejected, what we've seen in the past is a dump.
Well, initially, yeah.
And so we could
People
see
are going to panic sell.
We could see a panic sell back down to the 5-6K range.
Mm-hmm.
And
my question is, will it bounce off of that and recover, or is that where it will just be doomed to stay? And then prompt the flippening.
Right. So when we talk about the flippening, that would be the replacement of Bitcoin with Ether as the primary market.
Or whatever's number 2.
Yeah.
At the time, because as we've seen,
it could be Ripple.
Not if they get the brakes suit off of them.
So just kind of looking at, we had a graphic pulled up earlier. This is kind of interesting to me. Peak Ripple was 17% of the market cap by volume.
Yeah. If you bear with me, I'll do. I just want to see something real quick. I'm still here. I'm just peeking at something.
Yeah. So anyway, really interesting stuff. We, we'll keep you abreast of any developments. Obviously, price updates as well as market trends, news, and developments on that. And as far as changing gears, we did want to shout out to Dokademic. Dokademic is a startup that John McAfee is invested in.
Heavily.
And basically, Dokademic is looking to affect the healthcare space with their apps, or should I say dApps, that you can use. And they launched a psychotherapy dApp on the App Store and the Play Store called Cool Emotions. It's primarily geared for the folks where they're from. They're from South America, so that when the CEO was was featured on Forbes Latin America, he was there. And very interesting stuff. They're looking to really affect that space. So we may be able to get a copy going and kind of demo it for you guys on the next stream.
That would be super nice. Yeah.
So I'll look to incorporate that into our a future stream. And we will also have a walkthrough on some more Ether things.
Yes.
Getting MetaMask set up and trading on a decentralized exchange, which I thought was super nifty. So that kind of brings us to kind of where we are now. And, at the end of the day, if you have comments and questions and stuff, you can always send it to us on Twitter.
Yeah, and send it anywhere. We'll get it. And we'll love to discuss anything with you.
And we'll get you that invite to the Discord, and then we can have a
build. Yeah, actually, you know what? I will, while I've got my computer here, I will be more than glad to drop an invite to the Discord in our Twitch chat.
Yeah. So anyone who is watching, you're able to join our Discord, and you'll be able to participate and drop the memes, dank memes. Don't forget to...
Only dank memes.
Yes.
If they're subpar, get it out of here. We don't want it.
That's right.
Okay, so I'm dropping this Discord link into our Twitch. This will only be good for one day.
Okay.
So we don't get the dregs of society.
Right.
No offense to anybody watching who considers themselves dregs. You are not dregs. You are invaluable members to society.
We are all proud deplorables here.
Yes, absolutely.
But no, if you have time, just hop in and just
come talk with us. I mean, that's where we live in Discord.
Mm-hmm.
That's my little cave. I like it there. We talk about anything. Like, don't feel like we only have to talk about crypto there. Like we talk about games. We talk about crypto. We talk about movies. This, that, the other.
A little bit of news and politics as well. Don't feel like you have to censor yourself. Basically any non-racist,
keep it reasonable, keep it civil,
non-ist content, and we'll be fine. Keep it tasteful. With the memes, but other than that, just bring it on, and we'll get some good content going.
And once we fill up our Discord, we can have like a best memes competition. I feel like I lost. Oh, no, I found it. Just kidding. Old John McAfee back at it again with his guns.
Oh, yeah.
He's such a meme. But he knows his shit, so can't fault him for that.
Yeah, we do see trading Bitcoin futures up to $572 million on Wall Street during Tuesday's bull run. And here's a funny little graphic for you. This is the Venezuelan equivalent of $1.
And that is why I am so against the petro.
Why are you against petro?
Because the name of the Venezuelan president eludes me.
Maduro?
Maduro, that's it. To me, and I could be wrong, coming up with something like the petro.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what he's trying to do with it, and it's kind of sneaky, and I don't like it. Because he's already totally destroyed the value of their currency. It's been hyperinflated, whereas, as seen in that picture where you have to have a stack of money to equate $1. Now, by instituting something as the petro and opening it up to worldwide trading, which unfortunately you can't do that here in the U.S. because Trump banned it.
That's right.
To me, that seems like an attempt to offset that hyperinflation that he created by taking in this, world currency to try to break even on it. And that's just, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's bailing out, at this point, decades of just mismanagement of the economy. I mean, they tried all kinds of stuff with the previous president. What's his name? Chavez, and then they got Maduro in there, who's more dictatory, or at least equally so. It's really just a sad situation, man. It's a lot of desperation in Venezuela, and we can understand wanting to be involved, wanting to, get involved in the crypto community, mining Bitcoin, but it is dangerous for them because it's illegal.
Yeah, very, very illegal.
So, anyway, we'll keep an eye on that for you. Definitely follow us on Twitter, and we'll put out a tweet about it if we hear any news.
Yep. So I just did a quick little TA of Ripple here. You'll be able to see it in the Discord.
Okay.
It's my my honest and humble attempt. I'm gonna drop it in the chart chatter.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to see it there.
TA of XRP.
Yeah.
It has officially reached shitcoin status.
Yeah, no point in drawing lines on it anymore. It is what it is.
Now,
sorry, I had to do that for the lulz.
Good old Ripple. I mean, to have a market cap of $18 billion and to be just, you know, such an unpleasant.
That's
currency,
what happens when you print currency like that, man.
Yeah, they got $1 billion of it, and then they ceremoniously locked up $33 billion of it.
And then printed more, and then locked up more, and then burned more, and then printed more.
Yep, here's Ripple in action.
Doing what Ripple does best.
Slow burn.
Just shitting all over the place.
Yep. See a moderate pump here from a low of 53.85 to about 55.85, so about 200 sat gain, but you gotta be brave to invest in Ripple at this point.
Or incredibly stupid. Not to insult the intelligence of any of our viewers out there, but come on, there are much better things to trade on out there.
Like 0x?
Well, not right now, but...
I mean, 2 hour doesn't look, you know, lethal.
Yeah.
Seeing some wake up a little bit. Did not time my entry well into that, so now I'm stuck kind of riding it out.
Yeah, you'll be alright. So, I always tell you you'll be alright.
Yeah, you're right. And it's good to not lose faith. Basically, we have essentially covered the agenda that I had for this week, talking about the international markets and everything. We do have some upcoming projects that we did announce here with both Diego and
with
Ace as well. Upcoming projects with them, possibly some stream. We also are planning on expanding kind of the scope of the times that we're online, so we might do some extended streaming one day if we want to do some charting, just to kind of do some live trading while we're in there, just to kind of walk you through what we look for and all of that, in terms of getting in and all of that. So, you know, sometimes you get in at the right time, and sometimes you don't. You know, and so that's just how it is.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, so... You know, I expect, for example, 0x, I expect it to, you know, go down 14K. It's down here.
I mean, just look at the 24-hour low on it.
13K. 13.1K, which is way down here.
Take solace in the fact that in only one place has a candle broken the Bollinger Band. Every other time it's just bounced off of it. So you could be okay.
So the lowest it's going to go is about 14K.
Ish, yeah. I mean, even at its worst point, where the Bollinger Bands just exploded, it just kind of bounced and moved sideways all the way across.
Yeah.
So
here what I'm hoping is that we get, you know, kind of a rise back to the moving average.
Yeah.
So I need to get back up to here.
So right now what's happening inside these Bollinger Bands is that scene from Tron where they're throwing the discs around and it's bouncing off the glass. So you've got a bear and a bull. Yes. And they're both just chucking laser bitcoins at each other. Good Lord, I hope we don't get sued for this.
No volume, so...
Yeah.
You know.
We did not create this footage.
Yes.
As a disclaimer.
Yep, and obviously all content
belongs to
its respective owner.
Yes, which I believe is Disney.
Yes, you're talking about some bulls and bears fighting it out. Is our hero the bull?
Look, check this out, man. Like, well, no, because he loses. He falls out of the glass.
So the funds aren't Seifu?
Not for him. So we're gonna get this crazy like kung fu master. Who's just gonna absolutely shit wreck him. Yep, see? Bit wrecked. That was the CEO of BitConnect back there.
Dude,
I just threw that one.
That was the BitConnect investor. The CEO just took his money and pieced.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
All right, so here's the Verge investor. Our hero is fighting against a Verge investor who goes real high on the Pornhub pump and then crashes.
Oh, that wasn't the news I was looking for. You mean I can buy porn? Porn is free, though. Stop it with these garbage announcements, Verge. And Verge is wrecked.
We just need a Verge.
Verge victorious.
Verge a buyer. Verge currency.
Oh, man. It's about to get real. And he's just like, F this shit, I'm out, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Dumping those bags and taking off.
Yep, that guy got wrecked, though. Oh, man. Well, and this is where you run into the bear.
This is like arch bear. Oh, Resner. Yeah, yours doesn't do that, homie. His coin's forked.
Mm.
Give me that shit. The moves on that bear.
Yeah, that bear's acrobatic.
It's a bear trap. It's a little bit of sideways movement here. Oh, we have too much time on our hands.
I love the...
Oh, now it's a bull trap. He thinks he's doing all right. Nope.
Slow motion win. Bear wins.
Jesus.
Oh, man. Well, you know, there is a constant back and forth between the Bears and the Bulls. And
yeah. That was just a meme-tastic way of explaining it, I guess.
Yep. So we'll see some action here. You know, I wish I had gotten out right up here. That would have been pretty dank where I set my order. I wonder why it does. I still don't understand why it didn't trigger.
I don't know, man.
When the price is reached, a sell order will be placed at that price.
I bet you probably have to do something dumb like set a 1 Satoshi deviation. Because the price is the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it can use that trigger.
In the past, I think I've done the same.
Okay.
But maybe the volume was just messed up and, you know, something happened there.
Yeah, sometimes the books move so fast that it just
stuff
gets lost in the ether.
Yeah, there was a gap there maybe too, and so it like fell past it. Yeah. That's probably what it was, but you know, honestly, I'm in it, you know, to win it. So
true story though.
We're gonna see what happens. I'm looking at these long candles, and I'm saying, you know, buying anywhere down here, you know, imagine that gain, you know.
Yeah, that's. Oof.
This is only a 2-hour candle. So this is only.
This back last week.
This 1 week ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we see it pump on back. 17, 18K. You know.
Doable if.
A few million satoshis there.
Yeah, but you know, I'm just glad to see a little bit of consolidation into Bitcoin. Keeping the price driving the price up, just keeping that going. So I'm happy.
Yeah, and
Great market.
Bitcoin does drag up alts.
Yes, it does.
You know?
Once the consolidation and everything happens, then people will start, getting back into alts. And, when consolidation happens, that typically drives the price of, Ether, Litecoin,
Yeah.
all of the above.
Although some investors are betting against Ether, saying that, really it's so good on the utility side, and we even noticed it ourselves. So the faster transactions and
it's super
the superior distributed apps and all of that. It's supreme. It's the meme supreme. But at the end of the day, we can't say exactly where it's going to go, and if Ether will rise with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
If we look at the weekly, Ether really wasn't there on the movement either.
Who did that? Oh, Diego did that.
What happened?
I think he did it. Somebody posted the Ripple chart, and it just came through. That was weird. Or it just came through on my phone anyway.
No, I posted it here.
Yeah, but I guess it just came through on my phone for some reason.
Blocky? Yeah. I was just querying Blocky. It was a little while ago, actually. That was...
Yeah, Blocky has been kind of going through...
At 5:48 p.m.
It says it responded immediately.
Yeah, it was like 12 minutes ago or something. So,
that's fine, though.
Yeah. But we're definitely active as far as on the computer wise. We see the notifications much more quickly for Discord, so it's much more real time. But yeah, so we've kind of reached our stream discussion, for today. Did you have anything kind of else you wanted to bring up on stream today?
No, as usual. Thanks to everybody that tuned in, all 6 of you. Thanks for the guys that involved that were getting involved in the chat. Thanks to our new follower, Cogwhistle. We couldn't do this kind of stuff without you guys. So by all means, if you ever want to get in touch with us, ask us any questions, call us idiots, do whatever.
Yeah.
We're just happy to hear from you. We're just happy to be here.
Yeah. Really just getting, streaming, getting involved with the different communities that are out there and kind of keeping a hand on the pulse of what's going on.
Yep.
Very exciting stuff. So we're going to be here, each week bringing you the latest. And we'll be uploading this soon to Facebook. Look for that over the next
few hours.
I would say over the next day. And then, other than that, we are going to be signing off for this week. But thanks again for tuning in. Check us out at real_BlockTalk for the stream updates and again on Facebook. Thanks again for stopping by.
Thanks for having. Thanks for watching us. And we'll see you again next week.
Yep, it's Crypto Nikolai and Crypto Jay signing off for this week. Thanks again for tuning in, you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Yep, later.